Hi, this is Julia from Avatar Academy. Let me ask you something very specific. Have you ever noticed that when you are alone, your English feels fine? You understand podcasts, videos, maybe even books. You can form sentences in your head, you know the words, and everything feels under control. But the moment someone speaks to you directly, especially face-to-face, your English suddenly feels weaker. Your mind slows down, your words disappear, and simple sentences feel hard to produce. This experience is extremely common, and it has almost nothing to do with your real level. It is not because your English is bad. It happens because the situation activates a different system in your brain. When you are alone, your brain works in a low-pressure environment. There is no judgment, no time limit, and no emotional risk. You can pause, think, rewind, or even give up. But when another person is involved, especially a real person, your brain switches into a performance mode. Suddenly, it is not just about language anymore. It becomes about image, identity, and fear of mistakes. At the B1-B2 level, most learners already have enough language to communicate. The real problem is cognitive pressure. Your brain tries to manage too many things at the same time. You are thinking about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, speed, and at the same time, you are thinking about how you sound, how you look, and how the other person might judge you. This creates overload. When cognitive load increases, fluency drops. This is a well-documented phenomenon in psychology. Under pressure, the brain prioritizes safety over performance. That is why your English feels stronger in calm situations and weaker in social ones. Another important factor is translation. When you are relaxed, your brain has time to translate silently if needed. But in real conversations, there is no time. The moment you try to translate, you fall behind. This delay creates panic, and panic blocks access to the words you already know. That is why you sometimes forget very basic vocabulary that you have used hundreds of times before. There is also something called emotional exposure. Speaking to real people creates emotional risk. You are not just sharing information, you are exposing yourself. At this stage, many learners unconsciously protect themselves by speaking less, simplifying too much, or staying silent. This is not a lack of knowledge, it is a protection mechanism. Another reason this happens is that most learners practice English in passive ways. They listen a lot, read a lot, maybe study grammar, but they rarely practice spontaneous production. Understanding is passive, speaking is active, and the brain needs specific training to switch smoothly between the two. Think about it like this. Understanding English is like recognizing a song. Speaking English is like singing it live, without rehearsal. These are different skills. If you only listen, your brain becomes very good at recognition, but not at retrieval. Retrieval is the ability to pull words out quickly under pressure, and retrieval only improves with use. There is also the issue of perfectionism. At the intermediate level, many learners stop making simple mistakes, but they start overthinking. You want your sentence to sound natural, correct, and intelligent, so you hesitate. That hesitation breaks rhythm. Once rhythm breaks, confidence drops, and once confidence drops, fluency collapses. Research in second language acquisition shows that fluency is strongly connected to flow. Flow happens when you allow yourself to continue speaking, even if the sentence is not perfect. When you interrupt yourself too often to correct small errors, you train your brain to associate speaking with stress. Another hidden issue is identity. When you speak your native language, you feel like yourself. In English, you might feel limited, simpler, or less expressive. This creates discomfort. Some learners subconsciously avoid speaking because they don't like this version of themselves. But this phase is temporary. Your English personality grows with use. So, how do you fix this problem? First, you need to accept that this gap between alone English and social English is normal. It is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are ready for the next stage. Second, you need controlled pressure. Not extreme stress, but small challenges. Short conversations, low-stakes interactions, situations where mistakes are allowed. This retrains your brain to stay calm while speaking. Third, protect flow. Do not stop mid-sentence to fix small errors. Let the sentence finish. Communication is more important than accuracy. Accuracy improves later, naturally. Fourth, reduce translation. This happens through repetition and exposure, not force. The more you hear and use the same structures, the less your brain needs translation. And finally, be patient with yourself. Fluency is not a switch. It is a gradual shift. One day, you will realize that your English in front of people feels almost the same as your English alone. That moment does not come suddenly. It comes quietly, after enough real use. If you are experiencing this problem, it means your English is not weak. It means your brain is learning how to perform under real conditions, and that is exactly what progress looks like at the B1-B2 level. Before you leave, join our Telegram group to download the worksheet for this episode and practice the key vocabulary in real contexts. You'll also find exercises that help you speak with less pressure. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. The links are in the description. This is Julia from Avatar Academy.